Hey guys, um, Ryan will start the class in a couple minutes, but I just wanted to have a quick chat with you guys. In the last few weeks, we had some requests for more help in English, and that has been a rare thing for us after like many years. I said I've heard that. That's why I want to talk to you guys before Ryan gets started. There are two things I want to talk about. One, I'm a little frustrated with you guys not asking questions to Ryan when he asks for questions. Then how in the hell are we supposed to fix the problem if we don't ask the question? So let me be very sweet and nice with you guys, okay? So that's the first problem. Second problem is, could you be more specific with your question? Not just when you're doing, for example, a question in the test and you're like, hey, explain that. Talk more about the concept, the grammar rule behind it. If you're not sure, ask him to explain again. You have paid money for this class to learn. If you don't learn, eventually it's going to show up on the April test. I can guarantee this. I've been doing this for 20 years. Trust me, guys. Um, I just don't like it to leave it up to chances. Ryan was also my student a few years back. Trust me, and I used to tell him the same thing. If you guys don't ask questions, it's gonna eventually come back and haunt you guys. And that day you'll be frustrated, and they're like, "Why didn't I ask this question? Why didn't I get to know this better?" So I'm gonna make it very clear. Ask the damn question. All right, get started. So I helped you. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, Manoj told me that people have been asking for more help in English. So like, is there anything specific any of you guys like think you need help on, like with the English, or are you guys feeling good?
No, I'm okay with English.
I don't know who asked that.
Okay. Online, are there any of you guys that think any parts of English that you guys need help with? Like, there's the punctuation that we've gone over a couple times. There's the subject verb agreement that we've gone over. There's word choice errors. I mean, those are like the three sections, if anything of those.
Anything I've learned most in English than any of the other ones.
He said some kids, might have been like some kids over there too, because he said some of them like skipped the, like this portion, like the regular section, and then like I go a little bit faster over there too, so maybe they're not understanding that. But okay, well, if there are no questions, what we're doing today, we're gonna do an English practice test, one passage at a time, and I'll be going over questions and asking you guys to answer them. So, it's not. You guys have this blue book, right? Yeah. Page 181 in that blue book. So we'll be going through that one passage at a time. So it comes out to about 9 minutes per passage. So I'll give you 9 minutes for like the first passage. We'll do that, and then I'll ask you guys all the questions. And yeah. Pull up a timer. Alrighty, go ahead. 3 minutes left for that. A minute left. Alrighty. Time's up. We are on page 181, by the way, for Brady, who just entered. Yeah, we'll be going over the answers now, so I'll ask you all to give me the answers. So for 1, JP, could you give me the answer for that one? Solid. Could you give me the answer for 1?
Wait, are you talking?
Oh, yeah, online, you guys.
Okay. I got A. I got B.
So for 1, the correct answer would be D. So that's just because, as we talked about in like the first time I was here, those are 2 independent clauses. So my best friend Mike is notorious for ignoring many of the modern conveniences that most people cannot live without. That's 1 sentence. And then he'd sooner handwrite anything than sit at a computer to type. That's another sentence. So the only way you can separate those is with like a comma and an and, or like a fanboy, a period, or like a semicolon. And the only option here that is correct is D, with a period. So yep. 2, Garrett, could you give me what you got for that?
I put, hello? I
Yeah.
put J.
That one would be H. So the only time you're gonna like do like a like 2 commas like that is like if it's kind of like unnecessary information. When you have a that, you're usually not gonna have a comma. I think we talked about this last time. It's like the difference between that and which. They basically mean the same thing. But if you see which, you'll use a comma, and if you see that, you're not going to use a comma. And here, it just all flows together. Like he insists that it would be too much, so you're not going to need a comma there. So H is the correct answer. Okay, 3. Zadie, could you give me that one?
I put B.
Yep, that's correct. So it's just past tense there. So it's going to need to be B. 4. Ruthie, could you give me that one?
For which question?
Number 4.
Letter A.
That one would be J. You don't need any introductory thing there. Okay. Number 5, Brady, you weren't here. Could you give me number 5?
I put A, but I also didn't understand that one.
No, that's correct. Yeah.
Oh, it is?
So all the other ones basically just like repeat information. Like when you say a cable service, that means it's already wired into his apartment. Or if you say, I don't know, with a good remote control, that's kind of just, that one doesn't really make sense at all.
I
It's
didn't
just kind of
understand,
random.
Like, why they had the rest of those sentences. Like, why would you add a remote control in there? Like,
Exactly, that was just kind of pointless. A cable service to watch, that's just kind of self-explanatory. Like that's what you do with cable. So the best answer is just A there.
okay.
Yeah, and it was relating because he had the party or whatever. Okay, 6. Can you give me that one?
F.
That one would be J. So this one's a tricky one. It's about being as specific as possible. So like, we're not 100% sure what the it is referring to. So you have to just say exactly what it's talking about. The cable service. So J is going to be your correct answer there. Because we don't know, like, is he talking about the party, the cable service, or whatever. Okay, 7. Manoj's son. I don't know how you should say your name. Sorry. Could you give me that one?
A.
How do you pronounce your name?
Shatich.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's correct. 8. JP, could you give me that one?
F.
He's alive. What'd you say? Did you say F? I can't.
Which one?
8?
Oh, J.
Yeah, J is the correct answer there. You don't need any commas or anything to separate them. It's only 2 things, so you don't need anything to separate them. Alright, 9. I'll just go through the rest. 9 is B. 10 is J. 11 is A. 12 is F. 13 is B. 14 is G. And 15 is A. On the rest of those, were there any questions?
What was 9 again?
B.
I only got 3.
Can you explain why there was no comma for 11?
Yeah, okay. During his first few days with cable, Mike sat in front of his TV when before he would have been reading a comic book or milling around the apartment. Which answer did you put?
I put C.
Okay. There's just really no reason to like put a comma there. Commas like like we've gone over before. There's many uses for commas, like introductory phrases to set off interrupting things or to independent clauses. But here, there's not really any break. It's just would have been. That's one thing that flows together. I don't know. Do you need a little further explanation on that, or?
No, I think I get it. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If there are no more questions, we'll move on to the next part. I'll give you 9 minutes for that again. Go ahead. 4 minutes left. Two minutes left. Alrighty. Time is up. We will again start by going over the answers with you guys, so you give me the first one.
J.
Yep. Or wait, no, sorry. I was looking at the wrong one. 16 is actually F. So, I mean, J wouldn't, the form of music that, J wouldn't be correct because you would need have to be has. The form of music that has originated, like that's how you would say it. You can't say the form of music that have. So it has to be multiple. We need like plural, so like many forms. And all the other ones, like one form of music, H, and G, music forms have originated. So the only options could possibly be G and F just because of that grammar there. But then the one that makes the most sense is F, many forms of music. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 17.
I got D.
Yep, perfect. 18, JP, could you give me that one? Shatij, could you give me 19?
D.
Yep. Caitlin, could you give me 20?
H.
Yep. 21, Zadie.
I put C.
So that one would actually be B. It's hard. I think the ones that are longer and asking not about just grammar rules are harder. So the question is, at this point, the writer is considering adding the following parenthetical phrase, and those who played it, given that it is true, will this be relevant to add addition to make here? So the rest of the essay or passage kind of goes and talks about this one specific guy who was a pianist and gained his fame through the ragtime music. So adding that and those who played it would be a good addition. And B states that yes, because it provides an important historical detail that is elaborated later on in the essay. You said you put C. No, because this detail is neither essential to the meaning of the sentence nor to the content of the paragraph. So, while it may not be like essential to the sentence, the whole rest of the passage talks about this one guy, so it's relative, or it's good for the rest of the passage. Okay, 22, Ruthie.
H.
That one would be J. So which is least acceptable, make sure you're looking at that. And then it's kind of just seeing which one doesn't fit in with the rest, right? So it's either showed great music potential, demonstrated his talent on the piano, revealed his musical skills, exposed his rhythmic touch, or played the piano. So like all the other ones are kind of like showing how he's special at piano, how he's better. J just kind of states he just played it. So J is the one that's kind of different there, and that's the least acceptable. Okay, 23, Brady. That's okay. I'll just go over the rest of them then, and let me know if you have any questions. 23 is B. 24 is H. 25 is D. 26 is H. 27 is A. 28 is G. 29 is C. And 30 is G. Any questions on any of those?
Can you explain 28, like why it's draws?
Mm-hmm. So again, this is another one of those like kind of we're just seeing which one doesn't match with the rest. So the one they have up there is the ragtime illustrates how people draws is kind of more like a literal meaning. You wouldn't say like ragtime style draws how people. That's like when you say draws, there's not really a figurative meaning for that in this context. Like it literally means like he's drawing something on a paper, so it's kind of hard to put that into context of like the ragtime and the music. But what it's saying basically is shows, like the ragtime style shows. So F would be the correct answer, and we're kind of just seeing if the other answers also say like it shows something. So H, reveals, that's like a synonym of shows, and depicts, that's another synonym. So like it's kind of all the same, but draws isn't meaning to show, so that would be incorrect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Okay. So just for those that are like the least acceptable ones, or which one doesn't fit, just kind of look for the one that's different and isn't like the rest of them. Alrighty, we can go on to the next passage now. 4 minutes left. One minute left. Alrighty, time's up. We'll go over those again. Alright, 31. Give me.
A.
Yep. 31 is A. 32.
I had G.
Yep. 32 is G. 33, JP. Could you give me that one?
B.
Yep. B. 34. Shatish, could you give me that one?
F.
Yep. 35, Caitlin.
A.
Yep. 36, Zadie.
H.
Yep. 37, Rufy.
D.
Yep. Perfect. All right, I'll go over the last few. 38 is F. 39 is C. 40 is J. 41 is A. 42 is H. 43 is B. 44 is G. And 45 is C. Any questions on any of those?
What was 42?
H.
Yeah, I have a question. Can we go over 34?
Okay.
Just because it's two, it can be two different sentences.
Yeah, so it's two independent clauses there. So like kind of like the other question we talked about earlier. You only separate two independent clauses with a comma if you have that fanboy, and there's none of the options have a comma and a connector word, so you can't use a comma there. So your only good option is a semicolon. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to the next passage then. Ready, set, go. 4 minutes left. One minute left. Alrighty, time is up. Okay, 46. JP, could you give me that one? Start off.
F.
Yep. 46 is F. Shatish, could you give me 47?
C.
Yep, perfect. 48. Caitlin?
J.
Yep. 49. Zadie?
A.
Yep. 50. Ruthie?
F.
50 would be H. So Again, which one is not acceptable? So we're trying to see which one's different compared to near Montreal. So by Montreal means close. It means the same thing as near. Outside of Montreal, same meaning. About Montreal, that wouldn't really make any sense there. Take me to his hometown about Montreal. That just doesn't really describe a location. So H would be the, I guess, not acceptable answer. Okay, 51. What'd you give for that one?
B.
Yep. And 52.
F.
Yep. Okay, the rest of them, 53 is A, 54 is H, 55 is C, 56 is J, 57 is B, 58 is G, 59 is C, and 60 is H. Okay, any questions on any of those?
Can you explain 60?
The writer wants to balance the statements made in the earlier part of the essay with a related detail that reveals why the narrator wants to preserve this history. Given that all of the choices are true, which one best accomplishes its goal? Though life might end, family goes on forever. So in the earlier part of the passage there, it's always talking about like what his family was doing in those pictures, and how he wants to tell the stories of his family. You know, he's like getting to know his grandpa. So the whole story is kind of about just his family. Although it's also about like those pictures, I think the better meaning is for family goes on forever. So H. Any other questions? Alrighty.
Can you explain 56?
56. Yes, okay. The culmination of our time together was a detailed family tree. Its base formed by our French ancestors who first arrived on this contest. So, you're not going to need any commas or anything there to separate it, especially not between French and ancestors. That's just one thing together. Those need to be together. And then it's going to be who, because I don't know if you remember the trick I taught you guys with whom and who. If you can replace it with him, her, him or them, use whom, because they both end with M. Or if you can replace it with he, she, or they, use who. So here, it's base formed by our French ancestors who first arrived. So the question like who first arrived, they first arrived, or he first arrived. So you're going to use who there, not whom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other final questions? Alrighty. We'll take our break then, and Manoj will be over with you guys in a minute.